Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. I hope you're well. Thanks for your patience during my absence. I have had a couple of weeks break from the channel and basically I haven't been producing any vlogs because I haven't really been creating. I haven't really felt like it. And just a note, if you're ever wondering what's going on, I will normally leave a little comment for you in the community tab that's here in YouTube. When there's been an intense lead up to something like an exhibition or the open studios like I had, it's very normal to feel fatigue, a bit burned out, and really kind of dragging your heels after an event like that. There's so much that needs to be done to organise it, so much energy goes into it. It's quite normal to need some downtime post-event. I have been creating these vlogs for 3 years now, just this past March gone. It's been 3 years and I love it. I've created about 140 vlogs in 3 years, would be 156 opportunities with one a week. And while I love it, there is a little bit of pressure in that to continue to show up. So even that can be a bit intense and create an opportunity to feel fatigued. I have reached a goal for my channel though, and that is monetizing it. So you will now see there are ads either at the beginning, middle or end. I don't seem to have a lot of control of that, so I'm sorry if that's annoying you. I hope though that you would watch those to support me, to give me a little bit of kickback on what I'm providing for you. So reaching goals like that is another reason that can send you into perhaps a bit of a nomad land of not wanting to create or not having anything to create or just not feeling inspired. Some advice might be is to just push through those moments. Keep creating, even if it means making crap art, and you will create crap art when you're not feeling it. Some would say to put that emotion into your art. For me, that just feels like I'm trying to drag a rock uphill, and I can't see the point in creating stuff that is going to enforce really that lack of inspiration and fatigue of when I can see what I'm doing is really awful. I feel like that would send me down a spiral rather than keep me going. Space and downtime and rest time is actually really vital in the creative process. It's actually very normal to have breaks, and it provides an opportunity of that space for new ideas to come, inspiration to come. It's quite logical that that is not going to be, not everyone's a Picasso that is going to create thousands and thousands of works in their lifetime. So know that if you're experiencing any burnout or where you haven't been in your art practice for a while, don't panic. Know that it's quite normal and it's actually really, really good. Giving time for the creative flow to return will reward you with many, many gifts. You can fight upstream or you can float, letting the current take you to new beginnings. Know that if you feel like you've lost your way, know that it is all part of the ebb and flow of creativity. Creating takes energy, so take time to regroup, recover, and top up your cup with things that feed your soul. Reflecting on your previous works is a great way to spend your time. So you're still with your creations, still with your practice, you're just not physically creating, but you are in a way that you're keeping touch with that creative side of you. I've spent the time topping up my art supplies and mixing a whole lot of colours, so when inspiration hits, I'm ready to go. I also do a lot of research. I screenshot a lot of images of work that I find inspiring. And so I have spent this time printing out a lot of that work, and I'm pasted it up in my visual diary. Not to copy, but just as prompts for the future of, yeah, this is the direction I want to take. This inspires me. Things, colours and things that just I know will ignite things for me. And that's where keeping a visual diary is really important. It can help in these times for you to revisit and see things, see ideas, and it can just help trigger things back into play. Spending time in nature, of course, and just reading art books is really a great idea. And another thing, as I've said in previous vlogs, still try and be in your creative space, just kind of organise and tidy up. I've been doing some tidying and I found this lovely cotton paper from France that I had back in uni that I'd forgotten I owned. It's a paper used for printmaking, but I used it to draw on. It's just lovely. So I'm really excited to get back to using that. And I also found this beautiful screen print from my bestie at uni that she made of me that I still haven't framed, so I promise I'm going to frame that. I also got my old camera equipment out. I majored in photography at uni and I have an emotional connection to these objects. I don't use them, I'm thinking of selling them, but it was just so nice to go back and remember I had one of these cameras in my hand for many years. Here's a few of the old photographs from that time. I did a lot of self-portraits. It all began with this image here. And then I got into recreating scenes from movie stills. And I often think about going back and redoing these as a retrospective, as my partner and I have aged since the 90s to now. In this one you can see the use of light, and that's what I'm referring to when I'm talking about wanting more light and shadow and atmosphere in my paintings. I was really able to do that in black and white, and yeah, this is the stuff I'm aspiring to bring into my current practice. And I can do a retrospective vlog of these images if you're at all interested in seeing them. Listening to music is something I have always used as a comfort and an energy builder. I always have music going in the background. And it was interesting on reflecting, looking at this painting, that this first layer, the vitality of the brush strokes here, I was listening to The Four Seasons by Vivaldi, and I can see just how that energy of those strings and the rush of that orchestra, how that was reflected in my brushstrokes compared to the following week where, that was really when the sense of the fatigue and exhaustion was coming in, and I did only maybe an hour or so work on the painting the following week, and it's just lacking luster, and there's some bits that are working, but yeah, and it's sat there, and then I've just not lost interest but really lost any energy to give it at this point. Setting new goals is also a great way to get going again. In the vlog Make Your Art Dreams Come True, I showed how mind mapping, which is normally used for realizing life goals, the technique can be used in your art practice. In my map, I noted I wanted to create classes on Skillshare, do more classes, and in my reflection time, and based on a conversation I had with a visitor to my open studio, I've realized that having the classes on Skillshare are actually quite limiting for some people. The whole membership thing and the cost of Skillshare, while I thought I was going to be able to reach a whole lot of people, and that felt like a really good thing to me, I've realized that actually it is quite limiting. And so I've spent the time teaching myself how to create online classes under my own website. And I'm really excited to tell you all that I have managed to get that up and going. So I've taken the class from Skillshare and it's now available on my website. The link is in the description. It's $25 Australian, and so I hope that's very accessible for you. And it's about how I create these landscapes. Sorry, it's in the cellophane, so it'll be a bit reflective. It's a very simple class showing you how this simple compositional structure can help you really create wonderful work very, very quickly. These, I demonstrate 3 versions. This is one of them. This is also one of them, but I've since painted over it so it doesn't quite look like this. But if you watch the class, you'll recognize the clouds. And there's also another smaller one that is done on half the size of this to show you how it can be converted into smaller pieces or even larger pieces. My daughter has snaffled that little one away, so I can't show it to you, but it is all there on this new class. So it's a 40-minute class. It's all filmed in real time with instruction on what I'm actually doing, and yeah, it takes you step by step. So if you've ever been wondering how I do these, you've now got a chance. If you haven't already seen it on Skillshare, you've now got a chance through my website. And so in the same vein as that, I was also reflecting on, I've been invited to provide more drawing workshops at my local art hub. And while that's really lovely, and I did enjoy those classes, and the feedback was that people got a lot out of them, I've also been thinking of, because you know my whole thing is creating community, and if you haven't got a community, then this channel can be your community. And I'm really wanting you, if you're watching this, you're an artist or you want to be, and I want that for you as well. So if you're interested, the plan is to film and create those workshops into a visual format and an online class. So hopefully I can make some time and make that happen. And please let me know if you're interested in that, or perhaps you're interested in something else that you'd like. You know, obviously the format of YouTube, the algorithm likes things that are about 15 to 20 minutes long, and I can't show you properly, certainly nothing like these. I can't show you in 15 minutes how to do these properly, or anything else that I do. So if there's anything at all you're interested that you would like a class on, please leave a comment below. And if there's enough interest for certain things, I'd be more than happy to do those for you. I'll admit it was a little bit harder to come into the studio today to film this. I'm not quite back to 100%, but I'm certainly feeling better having talked to you all. So thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a lovely week, and I hope I'll see you next week. Bye.